Welcome to the Be the Light podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Bordeaux, and each week we will introduce a new guest in hopes to brighten your life. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Vicki Olatundun. Vicki is a bold, courageous, passionaholic, willing to challenge the status quo to make things better for others. Resilient, determined, and driven are just a few words that describe her innovative ability to change the world around her. I hope you enjoy our conversation today. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the show, Vicki. How are you today?
I'm really well. I've had a really good day. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to chat with me tonight. I'm really excited.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so it's funny because I was telling my friends today, I actually came across you last year. I was at the Good Life Health and Wellness Leadership Summit, and you were a guest speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's funny how a year later I reached out to you and I asked you to come on and chat with me because I found you to be very inspirational, and I found your story was could make a big difference to our listeners. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So I really want our listeners to sort of get to know you. So if you don't mind, we can kind of take it back a little bit and maybe talk us through your maybe your career timeline. I know that you're a former attorney.
That's right.
Turned social justice advocate.
Yeah.
So you were living out west for a while, right?
Yes, I lived in Manitoba for 20 years, actually.
Oh,
yes.
You were there for 20 years. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're back in Ontario?
Well, I didn't start in Ontario. I started in the UK, actually.
Oh, okay.
Manitoba, and then now I'm in Cambridge, Ontario. So yeah.
Oh, you're in Cambridge. Okay, wow. Yeah, you're close to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where you were. I thought you might still be out west, or
that's cool. I've since moved to Ontario.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's a little warmer here during the winters, not as cold, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so talk to me a bit about your career down in Manitoba. When you were working at the Steinbach Family Resource Center. You accomplished a lot with your time there. I know there was a big project that you took on in regards to road safety. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I found myself in a situation. I lived in a beautiful community. Steinbach, Manitoba is absolutely gorgeous and the people are amazing. And I found that we were in a situation where we'd lost a few children to the road. The one that really springs to mind was a little 2-year-old who was lost to us. She was run over in a driveway. She was reversed over in a driveway. And another one, which really completely broke my heart, was a young lady who was riding home from school. And she had headphones in her ears. And she did not hear that train coming.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that was the second time, the same around time, where we'd lost another child riding home, same thing, headphones in. And she didn't see the truck and the truck didn't see her. And I just felt that I just couldn't let it continue. As a community, we were doing everything that we could, but I just felt that everyone had to do something. And so I decided to do something completely different. I worked at a family resource center. And so I looked after young expectant mothers with children ages 0 to 5. And so I taught so many things in the center. And so this just happened to be one of those areas that I thought we could do something different. Everyone seemed to be talking about road safety when kids were out driving, when they were 15, when they were 16, driver's ed. And I just felt we could pull back the hand a little bit and we could start them really, really early. Because if your 2-year-old says, "Mommy, seatbelt," you're going to listen.
You're right.
That's simple. Yeah. A simple little song about a seatbelt. Mommy is going to listen. And that's what it is. It's just kind of reverse engineering, if I can put it that way. So
yes, of course.
Something fun. The statistics and the information out there was that children could not learn that way. And I felt I don't want them to learn that way. I just want them to play.
Yeah.
Safety Play Park, kids learn best when they're playing. So we built Safety Play Park, and that's literally how that kind of came about.
It's amazing. Yeah. So for those who don't know, you actually built Canada's first play park. So built around road safety. So can you explain to us a bit what the park entailed, just so we can sort of see it?
I had done a TED talk about it, which is kind of lots of fun, and there's but It entailed a little village. So we had a Tim Hortons in there, we had a farm in there, a gas station, a train, a little farm. And so kids would go around this park, and it was like their own little village, their own little town. And they had crosswalks and things all over the place, and they had to navigate the park. And so we'd go to the gas station with their little model. And I would say to them, what would you do as soon as you finish pumping gas? And they'd say, pay. And I'm like, yeah, well, after you pay, what happens next? Seatbelt. That was what it was.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And so basically we would do that, and then they would see the big train and realize, oh, we can't play on the tracks because that train is coming. And we literally had graphics showing the train coming. It was a huge train. And it was just the graphics of the train. So the kids did not play on the train tracks. They didn't.
Wow.
Then they'd go to Tim Hortons, and they'd have to cross the road to get to Tim Hortons. And so when kids are thinking about donuts, they're not thinking about road.
Exactly.
When we had to say to them, we had to look right, to look left, to look left again, so that they could cross the road. It really made a difference.
Yeah.
So they were playing and having fun, but learning basically the tips of the road.
Yeah. No, I found that to be such a great initiative, and it would be nice to see that sort of, have these play parks all across the country and,
Yes.
Expand, right? I think it's really important. And, I have 2 young nephews too, and, they're always playing on the street, right? Just, they start on the sidewalk, and then, and then they're on the road, and
exactly. Before you know it.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned a few stats during your TED Talk in 2018 in Winnipeg, and some of those stats were alarming. The amount of children that go to sporting events, and high numbers of them don't return home. And
every day,
it's sad. And the thing that you mentioned that really stuck with me is the fact that this is preventable, right?
The thing about this situation is it's all behavior driven. It's behavior driven. And if we would just make a few changes, then the results will be absolutely amazing. Just very simple things. Who would think that in 2020, we're saying to people to wash their hands is the first thing. I mean, considering COVID, but who would think that you say to somebody to wash their, to put a seatbelt on, especially if it's free and it's there.
Yeah, you're right. And now with technology, right, we see a lot of distracted driving, a lot of people on their phones too, which is just horrible. So,
I have personal experience about that. So
yeah. So yeah. And I want to get into that as well, because I know some of your personal experiences have led you down this uncommon path of becoming a road safety warrior, right? Do you mind sharing a bit of your experience and what happened to you in regards to perhaps the collision that you were involved in?
Yeah, it was just a regular day, and it just so happened that my son, who I pick up at daycare all the time, kept saying to me, "Mom, I'm hungry," every single time I picked him up, and I thought I'd surprise him. But today I'm going to be the super mom. I'm going to go home, make a cheese sandwich, and come back to the daycare. And when he says, "Mom, I'm hungry," I'm going to go, "Surprise!" That was the thought process.
Yeah.
So I got off I got onto the highway from work, and I turned off of the highway onto where we lived, and so I was just about to make a left turn. So I literally had moved to the middle of the road. I was looking to make a left turn, so my eye was focused on oncoming traffic on the other side. And the young lady who was behind me was on her phone texting and didn't continue on in her journey. She literally followed me because I was now stationary. I'd driven to a point where I was stationary, looking left to turn. But because she was texting and focusing on what she was doing, she didn't continue on her journey. She literally just and then rammed straight into me.
Wow.
And that accident changed my life significantly. It really did.
Yeah.
Cut a long story short, it ended up with me having to have a hip replacement as a result of my left hip was replaced because of that car accident. And it has 18 months of rehab, pretty much, of having to do the prehab, first of all, a year of prehab, and then having surgery, and then having a year to 18 months of rehab.
Wow. So you had your surgery in 2018?
2018, November.
And that was a full hip replacement on the left side, right?
Yes, it was.
Wow. So when you had that surgery, were you told that you might not be able to move like you normally would, like
Yeah.
before?
Yes. As they said, they sort of said it's a lifestyle kind of operation. They're going to give us the best. They said to me, just the best that you could get possibly. And they
Yeah.
may not be 100% afterwards. One leg might be longer than the other. There was quite a few. It wasn't a bad outcome, but they did say it wouldn't be. It's possible they wouldn't be 100%.
Okay. So were you fairly active prior to this accident?
Yes, I was. I was walking quite regularly. Every lunchtime, I was healthy, and then after the accident, I was barely mobile.
Yeah. So as a result, I imagine you would have lost some muscle, maybe gained some weight.
Oh, I gained a lot of weight because I could no longer walk during my lunch break anymore. I would have to pick my leg up to literally put it into my vehicle. I was just fortunate that it wasn't my driving leg, so it wasn't my right leg.
Yeah.
And so I would literally pick up the leg and put the left leg into the car and keep it still. And just everything with my right leg. I would go to my vehicle and stand outside. I'd have to stand 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of steady the bones and stop the pain. Members of the public would come up to me and ask me if I was okay. I'd be like, I'm fine. But it will take a long time for bones to settle.
Yeah. See, for you, I find that your struggle sort of created, a great story, because this isn't a sad story when I look at it, because it's a story of resilience, right? For those who don't know, right, you're in the gym every day now.
Oh, I'm in the gym every day. I'm of the opinion that life will smack you in the face, and it does, and it will smack everyone in the face. And when it does, you have a choice. You can decide to lay down, play dead, and cry. Literally just kind of give up. Or you can decide to get a bat and hit it right back. And I just kind of felt, first of all, I was grateful. Because if she had killed me, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing, I kind of felt that, what do I do now? Life has dealt me a bowl of lemons. I don't drink lemonade. So lemon meringue pie kind of So I decided to kind of go with that and make the best of it, give it everything I've got, and also help others. Because I know that there were a lot of others who were with me in hospital. A lot of them had a very dismal outlook, some of them much older. And that was the problem I had. Everyone kind of said, you're too young to have a hip replacement. I felt age has got nothing to do with it. I am in that much pain. But not many people have a great outlook. And I've changed that and help people see that you can recover back and be excited about life again and just be grateful that you're here.
That's amazing. Yeah, I see that you sort of built a community online too, right? And I see you use the hashtags like Titanium Sister and Bionic Hipster. And
Bionic Hipster.
I love that. I love that. And I see a lot of people reaching out to you and commenting on your post, and some of them also young and having to get the surgery and perhaps feeling discouraged and looking at you as inspiration, which is amazing.
Well, I think at the end of the day, things happen to us for a reason, and there's a huge community out there, and people have reached out, and I've just sort of said to them that you take life one day at a time. You're here. I'm just grateful the technology is there. It's available to us. I don't know what it would have been like 100 years ago. People experiencing this issue, they died in pain, whereas now we have an opportunity to become part man, part machine. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And the thing is too, right? I mean, you can have the surgery, but some people might, fall into a depression, continue to gain weight, become immobile, just laying in bed, right? So having that mindset and having the tools to know that you can still get up and you can still exercise and move, right? And, eat properly. So I see that you're pretty regimented, right? You're eating well every day, sugar-free.
I am. I think for me, having to have that disabled access sticker on my window, totally motivated me, because
amazing.
When I came out of hospital and I had to have this walker, I would wake up every day and look at my post box in hope that I could just get to it, like get to it. And it took a long time. And you can fall into a depression easily because everything that you used to do prior to has now changed. Everything is now in slow motion. You have to think about every move. They have your shoes already tied for you from the hospital. You get elastic pieces put on your runners so that because you cannot bend over. You cannot bend down and touch your feet. And you have a leg lifter and you have a picker. So you cannot really do anything. And I was saying to one of my coaches, that, I can't run, I can't walk. And he said to me, are your hands broken? And I said, beg your pardon? He said, are your hands broken? I said, well, no. He said, well, if your hands aren't broken, then you can bike with your hands.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that. I thought, true. And so I actually bought an ergometer. And I began to cycle with my hands because that's really all I could do. I really couldn't do anything from the waist down. So that's how I kind of began.
Wow.
And I began to gain my life. But I was going to fight with everything I had because a depression it hovers over you. Because I used to be able to walk and now I can't. So walker and then slow motion, everything's in slow motion, can't move, everything hurts. And then there's the physiotherapy and all of that stuff. And then nothing's the same. Then you have to look at the scar every day. My scar is a foot long. It's just over a foot.
Wow.
My leg. And over 100 staples in my leg.
Wow.
So it was looking at that every day thinking, oh my God, my son said to me once, he said, Mom, how do you feel about this horrible looking scar? Mom. And I said to him, I said, son, there are quite a few of us out there, but, life sometimes signs your leg. And I've got a good signature. Mine's long. Everyone can see it.
That's right.
When life signs your leg, it just tells you you're here, you're alive, you fought back is what it tells you. You fought back and you won and you're here, so...
That's right. That's an amazing perspective. And you also mentioned that being healthy had to become your lifestyle to fuel your dreams.
It had to become my lifestyle. Everything that I ever dreamed to become in my life is predicated on health. You can't do anything without. This is the body that you get. Yeah. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is the only one you get. And so every single dream that you have is predicated on you being healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured you want to speak, you want to do whatever, you have to be healthy. And so you're going to fight back that way. And so it was a daily fight. And I did have those days where I cried and I thought, gosh, I can't even get to the mailbox. And it wasn't that far from my home. There were days when I tried, I'd take the walker, I just couldn't do it. I did not have enough strength to actually get to that mailbox. It was one of those things, but I kept fighting every single day. I kept fighting to get there. And I did. After the walker came the cane. I hated that cane. I hated it. But it was necessary. I had to use it to be able to stabilize, to be able to walk. But I did it. And I can remember the first day that I took some steps by myself. I was tilted to the side because, of course, that's kind of my gait had changed. But I walked, and I started screaming. I was like, "Mom, come and see, come and see, come and see!" I had walked 10 steps.
Wow!
I think I just cried all day because
it's amazing.
Steps meant the world to me. 10 steps that I could not have. It took me about a year.
Wow.
To take those steps because it was that painful to me. But I did take those steps, and from them we kind of kept going. But it's a mindset. It's a mindset more than it is a physical thing. It's more of a mindset. You have to walk in your mind first before you take those steps. Tell yourself you're going to fight and you're going to win.
So was it just positive self-talk, maybe like repeating a mantra, like encouraging yourself? Was there like a motivation anchor that brought you back on those days where you felt like giving up? Is there something specific that you held on to that drove you to take more than 10 steps? Faith
is a really big part of my life. Faith is a huge part of my life. I think one of the biggest things was my kids. One of the biggest pulls for me was my children.
Yeah.
For them to see that life will knock you down. And when it does, you have a choice. And giving up is not an option that you've got. It's not one of the multiple choice answers. Giving up, that's not even on, it's not on the form. It's not there. You can't pick it because it's not there. We didn't put it there. I didn't put it there. And I will say, I have to be honest in saying that my faith in God is a huge part of my life. And I do believe in God. And I had to dig deep for all the faith that I had to go forward and to fight. The thing about me is I just feel like life is a test. It's a test. And you literally have to pass it every time. It's a test. It's a contest, though. I think at the end of the day, everyone kind of thinks that when life hits you, it's all doom and gloom. And it really isn't. I think it's just life saying, you want it? Do you really want it? And the answer for me was absolutely going to fight tooth and nail to get it. There's an African culture. My heritage is African. My parents are African, and they have this belief that the year is a person. In the culture, it's like a year is a person, and it comes each year with gifts that's got your name on it.
Wow!
It's not going to come to your house and hand it to you. You have to fight to get it, and they believe that if you don't fight to get it, it'll take those gifts away, and it'll never come back because that year goes away and doesn't ever come back.
Wow!
So sort of thinking, you're not taking my stuff. No, you're not. Everything that's got my name on it, I am going to get it, I'm going to have it, and I'm going to keep it. So what I did was I did something crazy. To fight back, I actually began to study to become a fitness trainer.
Okay.
That was my way of fighting back. I thought, no, you're not going to hit me in the face and leave me and walk away. No, I'm going to hit you back.
Yeah.
To do something. And everybody in my class was looking at me sideways. Saying, what?
Yeah.
You can barely move. I thought, well, you know what? I just need my head to pass the exam, right? The practical will deal with that later. But I just need my brain to deal with the practicals. Let's do that first.
That's right.
And we did that. And then we did practical exams and I passed. I did pass.
Wow.
So I became a fitness instructor just out of sheer defiance.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And now you're squatting, right? You're on the bike.
Yes. Spin bike. I'm spin crazy. Yeah.
Spin crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, you're moving, right? You're active. Yes. You're working with a trainer.
Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing story. Do you want to give a shout out to your trainer? Is there one specific person you've been working with or a team?
Do you know what's funny is I've had a number of coaches along the way. I have to say, Better Bods Transformation Station, big shout out to the entire gym. Fantastic. Big shout out to Mark. He is Mark Tisdale's going to get me, I know, but huge shout out to Mark Tisdale and the McFadden family. Huge shout out to Dallas Mitchell, another trainer I've had. Like I say, life has brought trainers my way each step of the way, and I want to shout out those few people.
Amazing. Great job. I love it. It's an amazing story, right? I'm glad to see, I mean, a lot of people have given up, right? And to see you, not give up and come to the point where you want to inspire others. I know you spend most of your life helping others. Is this something that you were born with? Like you grew up just wanting to inspire others, or is this something that you sort of developed through adversity and your own personal challenges?
Well, the thing is that I've come through life and I realized that I'm where I am because others have made a lot of sacrifices for me. People I've known, people I will never meet in my lifetime have made sacrifices so that I can be here and have what I have. And I've just been taught to live a life of service. And when I was an attorney, the reason why I stopped being an attorney was not because of anything other than the fact that I felt that the courtroom was just too small. I could help only one family at one time, but with the same amount of effort, I could help thousands of others, thousands of other people who need help. And sometimes you just need an encouraging word or someone that just says, don't you dare give up. That's sometimes what it takes.
That's right.
Come alongside you and say, I'm not going to let you fall down. Or someone to say, I'm going to walk that mile with you. Sometimes that is all you need to get up. And that's one of the reasons why I became a fitness instructor, to say, listen, it doesn't matter how hard you have been hit. If it's that crazy, do the Paralympics. What?
Yeah.
A limited loss. There's another opportunity for you out there, right? You get to be an Olympian. Imagine that. But you've got to, I've always been an eternal optimist. I've always been that way. But I truly believe in hope. And hope for me means helping other people excel.
It's amazing.
It's just how it has to be. I have been given so much, regardless of the challenges I faced. And I think that the biggest thing I want to do for the generation coming is to have them stand on my shoulders, because then they're taller than us. But oftentimes we look at young people and think they should start where we did. But no, I want the young people around me to stand on my shoulders, because they will be higher than I could ever dream, and they'll reach higher than I ever could. And that's the reason why I'm here, to lay a foundation so that they can jump. Many of us have not been able to, because we've started from the ground, and our parents even lower sometimes, because they've not had opportunities. But with what I've had and what I've enjoyed, if they can stand on my shoulders, then they can jump further than I ever could. And that is really why we're here, to help others people excel. And that's how I feel anyway. It's been my joy to see others thrive, because I'm here, and because I know that historically I wouldn't be anywhere near here if others hadn't sacrificed and allowed me to stand on their shoulders and jump further than they could ever have imagined. So I want to make their sacrifice worth it, and hoping that my sacrifice would be worth it for the generation coming.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for all that you do. It's a true inspiration. So I do want to mention a few things too. I know in 2016, you became an author.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Unleash Your Crazy to Win.
I did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And you want to tell us a little bit about the book, and then we're going to jump into some future plans, some exciting plans that are coming up too for 2021 that you sort of hinted at. There it is.
There it is. It's backwards, but hey, Unleash Your Crazy to Win is really, in a nutshell, people have often said to me, "You're crazy." And I believe that if people haven't said to you, "You're crazy" about your dreams, then you have a dream big enough. That's pretty much what the book was about. And we faced the challenge as a family where we weren't able to have any children. And we were told categorically we weren't going to have any. We could never have any. That's just the full stop. And I just thought, nah. Same way, what life had hit me in the face. And I thought, no, I'm not going to keep still. I'm going to fight back. And
that's amazing.
The story of fighting back, and how respected doctors people who are at the top of their field had said to me, "Listen, Vicki, we know this business. We are scientists. We can tell you, you will never have children. Your medical history is proof."
Wow.
And I said never. And they said, yeah, never. They hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's going to be said never for you. You have to think about adoption or another option. And I just said, no, I was going to fight. And they thought, gosh, you are one stubborn patient. And it turns out I ended up sitting on the board of that hospital because they thought, you are a crazy patient. How did you go from not ever having any hopes to a 95% failure rate? When they told me that I had progressed to a 95% failure rate, I was jumping up and down. They thought I'd lost my mind. I thought, that's 5%. Didn't have anything before 5%. I'm going to be in that 5%. We ended up having our children, which is kind of crazy, long story in and of itself. And then I paralleled it with the center, with how we also gave birth to a non-profit center at the same time, and how the process is the same for every dream, same for every project. Just the factors are the same in wherever you are in life. Factors are the same. People, wow. Perseverance, all of that is the same. It's exactly the same. So I kind of just, laid that out in the book, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun read for anybody. It's not necessarily someone who wants to have children, but to anyone who's got a dream.
Yeah, that's amazing. Unleash Your Crazy to Win. Yep. You can find it on Amazon.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'm planning on reading it, to be honest with you. So
you should read it.
I'll be reading it. Yeah, and you're working on a new book right now too?
I am. I'm working on a new book because so many people have asked me to tell my story. They want to know what happened, and they want to know how they can fight and find their way out of where they are. And of course, I'm passionate, especially for those who've been injured, either physically, mentally, or emotionally. there's a way out for sure. And the new book is basically about that, how you have to fight through a number of things, and a lot of it is you fight through you, your history, your story. You have to change your story, rewrite your story, even with a broken pen.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You may never be the same again after having been hurt or having been changed by life, but it doesn't mean you can't write your story. And even a broken pen has ink. And
definitely.
That's the position I've taken, that, hey, it's about what others can read. So it doesn't matter what tool you use to write, so long as they can see the words. And yes, your pencil may be broken, your pen may be a different color now, but you can still write. And even if it's not as beautiful as it was before, even if the letters aren't as cursive or as gorgeous as they were before, so long as people can read the words, you've got a story to tell.
Amazing. That's great. I can't wait to read that book too.
That was exciting to write. That's been a lot of fun to write. It's been a journey to write it because I've lived it. I'm living it as I'm writing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to have. I'm excited to tell the whole world about it, because I think there's a lot of people who have been changed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
keep broken.
Yeah, I love to see you keep inspiring and helping others. It's amazing. And that's what this podcast is all about, is just having conversations with people that have a big impact on our communities. So I just want to thank you for taking the time and chatting with me this evening.
The pleasure's been all mine, to be honest with you. The pleasure's been all mine. I am honored. I'm honored to been given this opportunity. And that's what one of the things the accident did. It gave me an opportunity and a platform to tell others that, you know what? I have been to the other side. And you know what? It's cool on the other side. So fight like crazy to get there.
Amazing. Well, thank you again, Vicki, and all the best. And we'll keep in touch.
We will definitely keep in touch. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Be the Light podcast. I really hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as I did. Vicki is a true inspiration. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And until next time, remember to fear less, love more, and always have hope. And as Vicki would say, hope stands for helping other people excel.